Hey, what's up guys? We're going to talk a little bit about a recipe today, but really this video's purpose is to help you crunch macros from having raw protein into cooked protein. There's so many questions that I get on a daily basis of people just trying to, track macros and use macros to, diet, but they have a hard time finding out, I have a cooked raw meat and I have a serving and a label that tells me what the raw meat is. What happens when I cook it? So this video is going to show you exactly that. So the first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about the recipe and the meat, and I'll show you kind of what's going on. And I got this cool thing, a quick pop. I don't know if you've ever heard of a quick pop, but it has changed my life, and I do not know why it's taken me so long to find this quick pop. I would have prepped my whole bodybuilding career by using this thing and not have to use a crock pot or anything else. This thing cooks this whole meal in about 45 minutes. So we're going to be cooking packages of meat today. We're going to make turkey or meat balls, basically. So right now, just quickly, off the top of my head, serving size right here says I have 112 grams of raw meat is going to make a serving size. And in that serving size, it's going to say I'm going to get 17 grams of fat and 21 grams of protein, 0 carbs. And so that's cool and all, but I don't eat raw meat. So what I have to do is I have to cook it and find out what is going to happen to the serving size. It's going to probably go somewhere about 25 to 30% less because we're going to cook out that water. I don't change the macronutrient components. I don't say I'm going to lose some fat, I'm going to lose protein. I'm just going to keep those the same, but I got to find out what the serving size is going to be. So what I'm going to do really quick, and I'm going to show you kind of the recipe. You're going to have to catch a little bit later in the video to get all the math on this because I got to figure out what it weighs. So we're cooking 4 packages right now. So what I'm going to do is just combine everything. I'm going to weigh this first. First thing you want to do is when you're weighing everything is weigh your utensil or weigh your bucket or whatever you're going to do. So I got my calculator, my scale right here. I measure everything in grams. I don't do ounces, grams. So this thing weighs 299 grams, okay? 300, we'll say. 300 grams actually just hit. So I'm going to write that down. 300 grams. So now I got to minus 300 grams when I weigh this thing at the end because we're going to put the meat in it. So right now I'm going to cut up this thing and just put the meat in it. All right, so I got the meat in here right now. Now I got to weigh it. 21.55. So let's write that down. So we're going to go to the whiteboard just in a second. I'm going to finish my meal, and then we'll dive into the math. So what I'm going to do first for this recipe, quick pot's over there. I'm going to make meatballs, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer it with some tin foil. So the first thing I want to do is throw a cup of water in the bucket. So that just gives it a little bit of a juice at the bottom just so we're not burning out the pan. And then we just create meatballs. I'm not going to season these right now. I can season everything on top. But just for the purposes of this thing, this is a quick video. I'm going to make some meatballs and layer it. All right, so now that we got our meatballs in, I'm going to throw this tin foil on top of it. It's kind of like a barrier so they're not smushing into each other. And what I'm also going to do, important, poke holes in it so that the liquid can go through. So the next step, guys, is now we're just going to cook it out, find out what we're going to lose from water or from basically cooking this, and then we'll find out what our math's going to be. So I can't really do a video until I know what the cook-off's going to be. But right now, let's go throw it in and cook it up. All right, so this thing's done cooking right now, so we're gonna go check it out. We're gonna go over here and just weigh it. And one thing I want to mention before, I didn't zero this thing out and then, put this on there, zero it out, and then add the food, because what happens is sometimes this thing will reset itself and then you got like half the food in there, you gotta redo it. So that's why I weighed this first, just to get a baseline, and then we'll add it after. So what I'll do, get the stuff, bring it over. So now I'm just going to take these out. I'm going to basically do a quick rinse on them because it's already water in there. I'll just do a quick rinse because I didn't put any spices on it. Weigh them out and put them over here. All right, so now we're going to check it out. So I'm going to zero this thing out. Drop it on there. 1426, so 1,426 grams. So I'm going to put this away. Let's go do the math. All right, guys, we're on the whiteboard here. Let's talk about some things that we already know. So raw meat, we have 4 packages. that equaled 1,855 grams when we weighed the whole bowl. And that's taking the bowl out of the consideration there too. 112 grams is our serving size. That's what was on the package. That's what we already knew. Would provide us 21 grams of protein, 17 grams of fat, raw, right? So we can't eat raw meat, so what we need to do is cook it. So after we cooked it, we got a number when we weighed it on the scale of 1426. But just remember, guys, we got to take that bowl out of the equation. So 300 grams comes off. So 300 grams right there brings us down to 1126 grams of cooked meat. So 1855 cooked off is equal to 1126. That's a big number. That was a lot bigger than I was expecting, actually. I was thinking somewhere between 20 and 30%. This number was actually 60.7%, okay? So now all we got to do is know what our cook-off ratio is. That's 60.7 is our ratio. Simply we got to do is take our serving size and get it to a cooked portion. So now 112 grams multiplied by 60.7 is going to give me 68 grams of a serving size of cooked meat. And that 68 grams is now equal to the same macronutrient profile. I just carried over. Some people may think that there's other things that are lost in there, but it's so close that we're just splitting hairs if we don't do it that way. So right now, 68 grams of cooked meat is going to equal to 21 grams of protein, 17 grams of fat. That's what we know. But you may want to put this number, these macronutrients, in a number that you're more comfortable with. You know, either say 20 grams of protein or 25 grams of protein. I personally like 25, so I'm going to take this now and do a factor. I got to basically multiply these numbers by a factor to give me a macronutrient that I'm more comfortable adding up, because if I want to double it, it's going to equal 50 grams of protein, a serving size that I'd be more comfortable eating per sitting. So all we got to do now is take 25, which is the number I'm looking for, multiply that number, or divide that number, excuse me, by 21 grams, and that's going to give me a factor. We need that factor. It's going to be 1.19 is my factor. So now I have this factor number, basically the number that's going to help get me to the number I'm comfortable with in the grams of protein. Times it by all these numbers, it's going to give me this following. It's going to give me 81 grams of a serving size. Is going to equal to 25 grams of protein and 20.23 grams of fat, okay? This is all I care about at this point. All this is minutia. So now I know 81 grams of cooked meat is going to equal 25 grams of protein and 20.23 grams of fat. And so this is just some quick ways to go from a raw portion to a cooked portion, and then put the macros in something that you're more comfortable with. So if you like the video, if you have a comment or question, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I'm pretty quick about getting you guys a response. And other than that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys later.